Hello everybody. We will talk to you about the FusionIAM project we are starting right now. This project started because we wanted to show that there is solution to do EAM in free open source context and show to users that there are solutions, but of course, most of the time those solutions are several blocks you have to assemble to get a global solution. So most of the time, people knows one or the other part of the solution, but they never see the full scale of the solution that can be done with open source project. So the idea is to make an EAM system, Identity Access Management System, with only open source breaks. So the identity management system is account creation, deletion, provisioning, user self-service, access management, and lots of other functionalities you can do with those systems. So inside, you have, of course, OpenLDAP. OpenLDAP, one of the most used LDAP server when you talk about free software. It's the BSD license. There are several packages made inside the distribution. There is also RPM and Debian package made from the LDAP Tool Box project. When you use the LDAP Tool Box project, you always got the latest version of the OpenLDAP server package with several add-ons like overlay, like several scripts to do automatic backup and stuff like that, because the package in the distribution most of the time are old, and if you want the fixed and the latest version, there is a nice community project that does that. It of course speaks LDAP 3, it's high performance, it's used by major companies, telcos, so it supports a large amount of data. Password policy, of course, one of the overlay, and you can do nearly everything you want with it, proxy, meta directory, SSL pass-through to go to Active Directory, and so on. Then you have the front end, because when you have a nice directory, you need to have a front end to manage it, and that's quite difficult because you have lots of solutions that makes front-end from OpenLDAP, but most of the time they are specialized only on some part of the solution, and they didn't give you only one interface to manage the whole complexity of the infrastructure. So Fusion Directory is a nice interface, thing for the users and not for the admins. So the idea is that this time we care about the user of the software. So it's a GPL license, it's written in PHP. You have RPM and Debian package. And as you can see, you manage lots of stuff. Mainly you manage user groups, a whole device, system, deployment of system. So the idea is to have one interface to manage the complexity of the IT infrastructure, but with one software. That's a picture. If you are interested, I can show it after the talk. Yep. And I give to Clément.
Yes, thank you, Benoit. As you noticed, we are two on the stage. So this project is a unification of several communities. Benoit is working on Fusion Directory, and I'm working on LemonLDAP engine and other products, and so we decided to join our forces to create this project. So inside this project, we also have for the authentication part free software called LemonLDAP NG, which is already on OW2 project. And this stack will manage the authentication, single sign-on, and the application menu. So you will be able to have a front end for users that allows to display to them all the authorized applications. So we are in the web world, and we can plug any web application into the authentication from LemonLDAP NG either through an protection agent, which is called handler, either through some standard protocols like CAS, SAML, or OpenID Connect. You may have heard about these protocols. So this software allows you to implement these protocols and to plug any compatible application. And this is for authentication, but also authorization. So you will be able to give access to users to some applications. So we saw that with Fusion Directory, we are able to manage groups and roles. And this application will be able to read the roles inside LDAP directory and to use these roles as an authorization rule. It's a simple screenshot of the authentication portal. So you see you can display application. Of course, only application available for the users are displayed here. And you are also some other feature in the menu, like a password changing form, like the login history. So you can see when your account was used and from which IP, etc., etc. So it is your authentication portal, and it protects all the application of your information system. Another backend software inside FusionIAM is LSC, which is a connector, a synchronization engine, which allows you to take the identity from your LDAP directory and synchronize them to another identity referential. For example, we can work with Active Directory, so you can have your users inside Active Directory on OpenLDAP and have an automatic synchronization between those two referentials. You can also imagine to automatically create users from the human resource database. So when a user enters into your organization, it can be automatically created inside your directory. And when it leaves your organization, it can also be automatically deleted. So this is what we call the identity lifecycle management. So you can automatically have only active account inside your information system. This is just a simple technical schema showing how is working the connector. The big part is to have a pivot attribute between your source and your destination. Your source can be anything like database, LDAP directory, flat files, etc. And your destination can be also anything. We also manage some REST API, so you can do automatic provisioning on REST APIs. Another simple software that we choose to include inside FusionIAM is called White Page. So the name is very simple because it delivers some white pages. Okay, I think we are very good at marketing. The goal is to, as you may have seen with Fusion Directory, it's a big interface. Designed for end users, but with a lot of features, and we wanted to have a simple application in a read-only mode that can be used only to display and search for data inside the LDAP directory. If you want to have the telephone number or the mail of a person, we find that it would be better to have a simple interface. So here are a simple screenshot. As you have seen here, we put all Star Wars characters in an LDAP directory with their pictures, and you can have a simple search form and get all the information about Star Wars characters from your LDAP directory. This is an online demonstration, which is called Star Page and not White Page. and you can just test this application on the web to see how it behaves. So this is all these applications are standalone applications. There are different communities, and we want to join them to create this project, FusionIAM. So the main goals for us provide a full identity and access management solution. For the moment, we know that we can plug all the software together to create a full identity and access management. So both of us know that, but you don't know that. So the goal is to make public that the integration of these softwares can bring a full solution. We want to have a pre-configuration of each component, so you don't have to do the work of configuring all parts and join them together. We will work on some graphical integration, and as you might have seen, we have a lot of packages, so we will ease the installation to deploy directly all the needed package to have the solution. And we are working a lot on new feature. A big new provisioning API for Fusion Directory. We have already an API, but a new one is in development to be a full REST API. We have in LemonLDAP 2.0 a new second factor feature. You will be able to have natively second factor authentication. And also a big new feature, which is SSO as a service. So you will be able to deploy your application and to control on your application what are the authorization rules to access your application, and not to rely on the central configuration of LemonLDAP. If you want to talk about this feature, Benoit, I, and Xavier Guimard, which is in the room, which is the main developer of the LemonLDAP 2.0 version. We are here to answer questions around a coffee or beer. But I don't think there is more beer. Okay. So that's all for us. Thank you for your attention.